One man, one crippling Facebook Marketplace addiction, one previously roach-infested PC, with one mission. Play the Battlefield 6 open beta on super old hardware before it ends. Today we're going to take a look at another PC I picked up on Facebook Marketplace for around $30. This one's got a Core i5-6500 and is on DDR4 platform, so it's slightly newer than the 4th gen we looked at in our previous video. And first things first, this thing is pretty filthy. I don't know if there are roaches or some type of bugs in here, but overall it's just pretty gross. So we're going to get everything taken apart and we're going to get everything cleaned up and see if we can play Battlefield 6 on this thing. So no matter what level of experience you have with PCs, I definitely do not recommend opening up the power supply at all, ever. But I didn't have any other choices because this is a proprietary power supply. I didn't have a replacement. So I went ahead and opened it up, but I was extremely careful. I just made sure it was clean. I wanted to make sure there weren't any bugs in there. And I'm actually cleaning this up with electronic cleaner and a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. And then I'm also cleaning up the motherboard. And we'll get a few parts in the ultrasonic cleaner just to get those a little more deep cleaned. And I actually ended up having to put the motherboard in there as well, just because there were so many bugs and so many kind of gross things on there. I definitely wanted to get that cleaned up. But yeah, definitely be careful if you ever do open a power supply, and I definitely recommend against it. Just replace it if you can, but in this situation I couldn't. So yeah, just wanted to point that out. So after I let everything dry out in the hot sun for several hours, including the motherboard, I also blasted everything again with ultrasonic cleaner just to remove any water at all. And I used isopropyl alcohol on the power board for the power supply, and then I also used it on the motherboard just to make sure there's no water, no moisture. And after a couple hours, I was pretty confident that it was fully dry. So I went ahead and got everything back together, and this is kind of what we're working with. And when I took everything out of the case, I kept the front panel connector that has the power button and USB hub and a few other things, just because I knew that you have to plug that into the board or it will give you trouble trying to boot. So I kept that, and I'm just getting all that plugged up along with the proprietary power supply, and then we will do our first boot and see if we can get this thing to work. So I got an alert on boot about the rear fan not being installed, and unfortunately I threw out the rear fan with the case because it was just pretty junky. So actually what we're going to do is take a separate fan, and we're actually going to trim off the plastic pieces that go around that so that it'll actually fit in this proprietary connection. Then we'll get that plugged in just to bypass that error, and then we will keep going and see if we can get into Windows. For some reason, HP didn't include additional SATA connectors on the power supply, so I'm using a secondary power supply with a tester plugged in, and this will basically force the power supply to run, and that will allow me to use that to power the GPU while I use the HP power supply to power everything else. After that, we'll make sure that we have all of the chipset drivers downloaded and a few other ones that are missing in Device Manager just to verify we don't have any issues. Then we'll verify that Battlefield 6 is downloaded, and we will try to get into it. And when we first try to launch it, we get an error that we don't have Secure Boot enabled, so we will reboot into the BIOS, make sure that's enabled, and then we will try to get back into the game. And in the firing range, we're getting between 80 to 100 FPS, but when we jump into a game, we're getting between 35 to 55, sometimes hitting 60, but usually it's around that 45 to 50 FPS mark. And it does feel more consistent than the 4th gen, so I will give it that. The frame timings do seem to be better. But yeah, let's just run around a little bit, see what FPS we get, see if we can play, and yeah, let's see what this thing can do. So as you can tell from the footage from this video compared to the last video, the frame timings look to be a little more consistent, and it does run a little bit smoother. So I don't know if that's the DDR4 or just slightly newer architecture, but either way, it is a more enjoyable experience. You are getting a little more consistent FPS, and this is on the GTX 1070 for the GPU. So yeah, I'm pleasantly surprised. Let's see what else this thing can do. So I also recently picked up a GTX 1660 Ti for around 50 bucks. And this isn't really a major upgrade, if really an upgrade at all, to the 1070. It's more of a side grade, but I figured I'd pick this up the same time. I might as well just pop it in here and see what it does. And it's getting about the same performance, so nothing too crazy, but here's really what we ended up with overall with all the hardware laid out and everything. So we've got the 2 power supplies going, and really what you would want to do is get 1 power supply and get some adapters just to plug it into the proprietary HP motherboard stuff and just do it that way. But anyway, yeah, I just kind of wanted to make this video. I know the intro was a little goofy and everything, and this is really just a follow-up to my previous video, but let me know, do you like videos like this? What do you like to see? I also got a new microphone recently, so let me know how the audio sounds. Is it better than it was before? I appreciate everyone again for watching, and I really do enjoy making these types of videos where I take super old stuff that people just want to throw away and actually game on it or do other things with it. So again, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.